Go home, lock your door, do your homework, watch Naruto.
Hey everyone, it's time to eat the magic. Yeah, Jared the Greek here. We are going to talk about something a little different, an interactive experience, TM, uh, in Las Vegas that I would highly recommend. I am here with my brother.
Hello.
So we are going to talk about Omega Mart. Omega Mart is a shoot.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's located at the Area 15 Center in Vegas, which is this pretty cool building, actually. It has some interesting little drink shops, a barcade.
It's like a mall, but if the mall was designed by millennials and Gen Zers.
Yes, that is a good example of it. And we may even go and talk about other things that are there at a later date, including the weird Van Gogh exhibits and that Call of Cthulhu themed bar.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about Omega Mart, which going in, I was told it's essentially like a food museum.
I was told the same thing. I mean, it's not. I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, it
kind
kind
of the
of
way
is.
you're thinking it is.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be something like, oh, we're going to have a thing about, it's going to be more history themed. Like, oh, so here's what marketplaces looked like in like the 1500s when they first kind of started, or technically go back to ancient Greece with the public markets and stuff. And then you're showing like a history of that, maybe some artifacts and those things. No, it's not that at all.
Not at all.
So the whole place is designed to look like a supermarket, including like actual products of different things. Yeah, the front of the shop specifically, and then you have all of these aisles that'll have cereal, soups, things like that, all with kind of funny.
You can actually buy.
And some of the things you can actually buy. Yep.
Some are edible, some are not.
Yeah. Including the little food friend thingies, the little
like
plant
plush things.
Plant plushes that I'm like, kind of like some of these little, whatever it was, like the turnip friend or whatever I saw. And I'm like, I kind of like the turnip friend. And we were just like, okay, we'll just wander around. And then we saw this little line for this one kiosk where someone was explaining stuff. And we're like, oh, what's this? Turns out there's a story and you can go and do these various tasks and learn more about the world of Omega Mart.
Deepest lore.
Which I think you're very much encouraged to do, but you're not forced to do. You can just wander around.
You don't have to. But it's more interesting if you do.
Oh, for sure. One of the things, there's weird stuff already in the store, like regardless of whether or not you're doing the story. So it makes it a much more weirder experience if you get a little bit of background on the cultish, weirder. Like the cultish mentality of the workforce.
The cultish mentality, yeah.
I don't want to spoil everything because I think it's weird, but we'll talk about just kind of section by section. I think it's the way to do it. The initial area, like I said, looks like a supermarket. Although it has a few zones that are
products, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Some of them very creative.
It has a weird spill that's like this hole that just goes down and down. It's one of the little mini tasks you can do is report the spill. Melting. The floor melting. And there's various kiosks that give you information about products and what have you. You just see these really elaborately done commercials for things. And it's kind of cool. Honestly, the sheer amount of effort they put into that section.
Actually, as someone who is currently living in Vegas, I can state that I have legitimately seen commercials for Omega Mart on YouTube.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously. That's a thing that exists.
In the front section, you can go into the freezer if you want to and wander through there. Yes, you can. Which is very claustrophobic. I'm just gonna say that. That was a little claustrophobic for my taste, but it's one of those interesting things you can do. Also, they have the garden section that is just basically a forest. It turns into, as I described it, the realm of the woodsy lord from Thief. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's a good, fun little hedge maze kind of thing. Everything is just kind of like that, where initially it looks like something, you step into it and you're almost like in a complete weird. Yes. It's like a weird, trippy art museum thing. Then we have like the upstairs area, which I do love the fact that you can ping in and be the employee of the moment. Yep. Which is great. It does a little very congratulations thing. And does celebrate good times, and then it's like, now get back to work, which is great. And then you can go to the employee lounge, which is all like neon.
Yes. Very.
Heats, kiosks, videos that kind of remind me of, and this is going to be for only a handful of people, but if anyone's ever seen Evangelion, there's a part where Shinji and Kaoru are just kind of doing stuff around the facility, and there's just these screens that show like trees and birds flying, and then it just cuts to thing just this is Nerve, which is the organization they're working for, then cuts back to the trees and stuff. Like it's almost like a subliminal, like, see, you like working here, it's a happy place. This is clearly not a depressing, dark facility that has nefarious goals. And,
allegedly nefarious.
And same thing for Mega Mart. You like it here. It's nice. This is not an allegedly, evil, cultish thing.
You got to add the allegedly so that they can't sue you.
Yeah. And from there, you can get to some really weird, I don't even know what to call these rooms. They're just really odd rooms you can step into from a hallway that connects to that area.
Art exhibits, but if like you stepped into MC Escher's painting.
Yes, that's a great way of describing it. And so you could get lost in that section, just wandering through stuff.
Yeah.
And be completely distracted. It eventually leads back downstairs to a rear area of the supermarket that has like all these weird computers.
It's basically your evil scientist factory, Resident Evil style.
Yes. Definitely feels like something out of like a weird sci-fi movie or possibly like a B horror movie.
Yes.
And you get little weird screens that then you get occasionally to scramble and you'll see someone's like, this place is a law, you need to get out of there, things like that, which is kind of someone's trying to break the little code on the videos.
The code and there's various little like mini games you can play that give you more parts of the story. We did not have the time or the energy to do all of that because there's a lot to do.
This place is huge.
Literally massive.
Like I said, the initial opening area is as large as your regular supermarket.
Yeah.
Then you add in an upper story and a further back area. And so it is one of the cool things. This is way larger than I expected it to be. This is definitely something you should start if you're going to do this.
Start early.
This is an early thing. We did this like in the late afternoon.
We started around 1, and by the time we even got to the back area, it was already 4.
Yeah, I think we left when it was 2
later, I think.
Something. But this is a multi-hour event for you.
Yes.
I think of this almost like going to, I can't call it a theme park per se, but kind of in that mentality of saying, I'm going to go here. Let's say it opens at, I don't know the actual opening time, but if you can get there around opening time, you might even be there until closing time if you really want to look at everything.
And you want to do like the whole story, and you want to read all. There's even like a little computer room that you can go to that has a bunch of different like emails and information about the staff, and the products, and like the corporate interests going on. And you can read all of them.
Yeah. And you could even grab some of the things off the shelves and like the cereal and stuff that has all the fake nutritional information and all that kind of thing.
Allegedly fake.
I don't even know how much time would have been required to make this whole facility,
a lot,
let alone explore it. Because I'm sitting there going like, okay, this seems simple enough. All right, some weird stuff's going on in the supermarket. Okay, oh wow, there's this whole section that's a factory. Oh wow, there's this whole weird psychedelic, staff room. And
there's supermarket, psychedelic forest, funhouse art museum, and the factory, and those are just the areas that we saw. There's probably more.
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's so much to look through and explore. It's a huge surprise because we didn't know what we were up against when we went in. We're like, oh, well, we'll be here for 2-3 hours tops, and no.
No, that's not enough time.
And it definitely works, I think, a lot better as a group experience, because when you have those like, okay, wait, how do we do this puzzle? And then you find another thing going like, oh, there's a thingy on the wall over here that says this. Okay, let's go back and then let's try to enter the code. Okay, I think we got it. Bing, a little thing will pop up like, yes, we did it. Okay, let's go to the next thing. And having a team works so much better for that. If I did this solo, I would have just given up after the first puzzle. I'd be like, I'm tired. It's huge.
You kind of need a team.
Yeah. Not sure how much, if I don't know if I would call this a family experience per se.
No.
I think little kids would hate this.
Correct.
And
I
so
think
yeah,
some adults would hate it too.
some of the adults might hate it too, yeah. But if you have a bunch of friends who are into weird stuff, if you just want to walk around a
weird, surrealistic. Yes, weird and surreal.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like a director that this would remind me of. Like I was initially thinking David Lynch. I'm like, no, David Lynch is more psychological. This is more like, what am I looking at? I'm scared. Guillermo del Toro.
I could also describe David Lynch.
It could describe David Lynch, but I think it's more of a Guillermo del Toro kind of thing.
Yes, it is very Guillermo del Toro.
Weird
you know, like the weird, surrealistic, like messed up stuff from Pan's Labyrinth? Imagine if that was a supermarket.
Yes. So your brains better be prepared for this, because you're not getting what you think you're getting. And I think that's one of the cool parts about it, which is why I don't want to spoil too much about story stuff or things they say on the loudspeaker or any of that kind of thing. Because
also all the loudspeaker messages are related to the story.
Yes, they are. And so it's in that category where part of the experience is actually living the experience rather than just having someone tell you. If I walked around and just first person, camera on my, a GoPro helmet and went around and did all the games, you still wouldn't get the actual experience of going through it, because it's so weird.
It's odd.
I remember initially walking in going like, oh God, okay, this is what this is. All right, well, this will kill a couple hours.
And then we continued, and it got progressively stranger and stranger,
making it a really amazing experience, and definitely something to be set apart in the Vegas area, because there's a lot of museums that are just museums. I'm going to go.
Haunted. There's also some haunted museums.
There's haunted museums, which check out that video, people. That's a great video. And but you have your stuff. You have your Liberace Museum. I think there's a Sinatra Museum. There's the History of Vegas Museum. There's stuff like that, and some of them are kind of cool, especially if you're into certain people or you want to know the history of the city. And some of them are weird. I'm not going to name some of those weird ones. There's some weird ones, like the Haunted Museum.
Like the Haunted Museum. We just named a weird one.
Yeah. And then you have this.
This is
just
odd.
Another level.
It's not really a museum. It's an art exhibit.
Yes. So I hope that's convinced you to check this place out. We had a lot of fun. I'm hoping to go there again, this time prepared, which I think really
I would like to go there and do everything, but that requires entering like whenever it opens.
Yeah, you're gonna need the time to do it. Because we're not starting from like midway. We're gonna do through it all. So some of the quests we'll be able to do instantly because we know the answers, and other things we still need to figure out. And that's part of the fun
we didn't even like scratch the factory section.
Oh yeah,
up there, messed around with some of the stuff, got very confused and left.
Yes. Well,
because it was like 6
late. Yes. Yeah. So. But yeah, you can get lost in there. You can spend a lot of great time, and we all in the crew highly recommend it.
Very, very much so.
Thank you for watching. Hope you've checked out some of our other Vegas videos. We have some great ones. And until next time, I'm Jared, reminding you to eat the magic.